Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on and share 20 things I pulled out of random from my mind, parenting hacks or wisdom I have gleaned over the years from other people that I've been so thankful for. Parenting is such a hard job, and in so much as any of this is helpful, like that is just my desire, is to share things that have been helpful for me. So enjoy. All right, here we go. Number one, prepare the child for the road, not the road for the child. Number two, understand the distinction between discipline and punishment. Punishment is for your sake and discipline is for their sake. Number three, and I know this sounds strange, but if you don't plan on following through, then don't address the issue at all. When we don't follow through, it sends mixed messages, yields confusion, and will likely increase the behavior. Number four, allowing your child's selfishness in the name of creativity or self-expression to come into your entire environment at the cost of others robs your child of the joy of seeing others, valuing others, and caring for the needs of others. 5, I need Jesus. My kids need Jesus. As a parent, I have the opportunity to model what does it look like to be dependent on God? What does it look like to be reliant on God? What does it look like to live a surrendered life? Which leads me to number 6, which is ask for forgiveness often when you are wrong as a parent. In our house, we have 3 things that we say, and it's, I am sorry, will you forgive me? And God would never have treated you that way. Number 7, stop making your child apologize when they are not sorry. It's an insincere act. Instead, invite them into reflection on the way that their behavior impacted somebody else. Invite them to feel appropriate sadness for the way that they harmed somebody else, and then invite them into the restoration process by asking if they want to make things right with that person. Number 8, take inventory as a parent on the areas that you are potentially being too controlling because of fear or too permissive because of laziness. Number 9, being busy with activities is not the same thing as connecting with your child's heart. Society is increasingly encouraging these busy, fast-paced lifestyles where a kid is a part of every single thing they can possibly be a part of and every sport they can possibly do, and mom is no more than a glorified chauffeur, and the tyranny of the urgent is sort of like the tempo of the day, and that's not the same thing as connecting with your kid's heart. And if you're too tired to be consistent in your parenting, or you're too tired to connect with their heart before bed, you might have to reorganize and reprioritize things in your life to create some margin to connect with your child's heart. Which leads me to number 10, that if you're not connecting with your child's heart, that discipline is going to end up leading them to a place of resentment. 11, and this is the big one, you can say no. It's okay to say no to them. They're going to be okay. Number 12, boundaries are not about control. Boundaries are a loving mechanism that provides security. When children have no boundaries, they feel massively insecure and often act out begging for mom and dad to place a boundary, to show them where the line is. As our society becomes increasingly morally boundaryless, we're seeing that even amongst young adults, that they are increasingly anxious and depressed and unhappy because they have no tethers. There are no boundaries anymore. Boundaries are good. 13, moms, we need to stop helicopter parenting, especially our young men, especially our boys. They need to learn to take risks and jump off of things and run and have adventures without allowing our fear to constantly smothering them like a wet blanket. Number 14, the touch hand rule, and I love this one, especially for small kids. 99.99% of the time, it's not a life or death situation. It's not actually urgent, and they come in the room and they blurt out, "Mom!" and it disrupts the flow of the conversation. It's rude. It's rude, and you can teach them not to do that, and that's okay. They come up, they put their hand on my shoulder, and I put my hand on their hand so that they know that I know they want something, and when there is a time where I can pause and break away from the conversation, I'll ask the person I'm talking with, "Could you hold on 1 second?" And then I'll ask them what they need. It's great. It's great. It's wonderful. Number 15, and this goes for if you are married, that you take time to prioritize your marriage. We call it couch time. And we say, okay, mom and dad are having couch time. And that means don't talk to us. Leave us alone. We're downloading about our day. We're connecting. When we prioritize our marriage, it makes kids feel secure. When mom and dad are good, the kids are good. Mom and dad are the foundation of which family is built on. And when mom and dad are not good, the kids are not good. So prioritize your marriage. Be cautious of this newfound applause and elevation of the inner self as the ultimate governing authority
so it must be true.
in life. And that goes for adults, but it is really being nurtured with our kids right now. Teaching your kids like how to have big feelings, like how to express those feelings, how to work through those feelings, but at the end of the day, realize that your feeling is not going to be sort of the governing influence over how to live life well. Number 17, and this one kind of goes hand in hand with the busyness of our culture, but cultivate moments of stillness in your home. We don't always have to be doing things. We can sometimes just be being. Watch what happens if you do nothing and you sit on the couch in the main room of your house. Watch how your kids respond. It's kind of crazy. All of a sudden they start like gathering around you like little birds, and then they start talking. You don't have a phone in front of you, when you're not looking at something, when you're not folding laundry, when you're just still, things happen, and it's really cool. Number 18, freedom should always be proportional to responsibility. I think a lot of that conversation needs to be factored in terms of social media and smart devices and iPads and all of that stuff. Is what can our child really handle given where they are in their development, physically or mentally or psychologically or spiritually, that the freedom should always be proportional to the responsibility. Number 19, skin in the game. And what I mean by skin in the game is just where mom and dad don't do everything. The kids get to be involved in putting their sweat equity, their deposits into the family, into their younger siblings, into caring for the property and caring for the house. And anytime you have like sweat equity in something, you tend to care about it more. And so as they deposit themselves into these things, there's a sense of pride about it, and also a vested interest and a good outcome for all of those things. I decided that I'm replacing my number 20. It was a good work ethic, which I think is really good, but it was kind of like number 19. So for my number 20 is dealing with condemnation as a parent. Condemnation has been probably the number one destructive force on my parenting capacity and enjoyment. And it's such a sneaky little bastard, and is a joy killer and will suck the life out of your relationship with your kids, because you will be constantly accused for all of the ways you're not doing the other 19 things very well. Receive and experience like God's grace, God's mercy, and show yourself grace, that we're all a work in progress, and that transformation takes time, and you can't will yourself to be transformed. Get rid of that condemnation, because it's not helpful. It's not helpful. And kiss your kids all the time, and hug your kids all the time, and just breathe identity into them all the time, and laugh with them all the time, and sometimes throw food at them in the kitchen when they don't expect it. Life is short, and every day that we have with them is such a gift. So Godspeed in your parenting endeavors.